Well, here we are. Hey, you know what? What happened? And so I had the Old Dominion guys. We're rolling, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's roll.
We had the Old Dominion guys in.
My favorites.
Yeah, and we were talking about their latest single, Memory Lane.
Yeah.
And you'd come up, even in that conversation, but you'd come up so many times with so many people. And then Mike and I were talking, and we was like, we should just get her in here. So she keeps coming up over and over again. So bands are difficult to interview because if there's not just one main person, you got to like pay equal attention to everybody.
Right.
And it's like, make sure everybody feels like they're, when you write with them, do you have to deal with that a little bit too?
You know, some bands for sure. I'm thinking of some. Those guys, I've known them so long. And, you know, there is some dynamics in there, but they're all just such great songwriters that we wrote 2 songs that day. And it was just kind of the volleyball. I mean, it's like playing volleyball when I feel like everyone's really on. Just
do they feel like, do they just jump into, because again, they're all great songwriters in that group. So they all feel comfortable where it's not the band dynamic so much as it's just 4 really strong songwriters.
Yes.
More than it's Old Dominion. More than it's you and Old Dominion. It's you and 4 peers.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And being like pretty tight with all of them separately and then together, it's just one of those great days where everybody just, I don't know, songs just appear. It's weird.
Do you feel like the word's not peaking now, but do you feel like you're in your prime because everything right now from the outside looking in, it looks like you're just crushing it?
Thank you.
Data, and I'll read this, everybody, they already know I'm insane, but
I like it though.
Just this year of 2023, you've had 21 cuts. In the last 12 months, you've had 32. So from January to now, you've had 21 cuts. But 12 months, a full year, like May.
Like last year. Yeah.
You've had 32 cuts.
I don't think I knew that.
That's
crazy.
Does it feel like it's just constantly?
You know, it's funny you asked that because I was talking to my publisher yesterday, and I was just in Florida on a writing trip with Tyler Hubbard and Jesse Frazier and Gorley and some friends in Florida, and I'm such an Eeyore by nature that he's been telling me, like, we're getting there, we're going. Alex, my publisher. And this weekend, it's funny you bring it up too. I'm like, maybe something's happening because I'm feeling really good about my work. And a lot of new artists I really love and getting to work with them. I feel excited kind of like I did when I first started.
Megan Moroney was in.
I love her.
Yeah, and we've been lucky enough to know her for a while too because she's blown up.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to be like, oh man, she's good. So we had her in last year, and we were kind of breaking.
Oh
it
wow,
down.
you got in there.
So what was cool was I already knew her, and I didn't feel like I'm just gonna call somebody that's blowing up, and because she's so I was like, Megan, we want to talk to you again. She's like, great. She comes in, she plays Girl in the Mirror.
Yes.
Right? That's the name of it. And I remember just talking to her about her being just a real songwriter. Not that people aren't real, but you could tell she takes it seriously. And I could tell she took it seriously when we met her the first time.
Wow.
But I said, that song, I'm not even a girl. And I feel that. And she shouted you out too in the same way. But that song is really good. Like to the point where I'm jaded and I still get like little bumps every once in a while. And that was one of them where that was the case.
Man, that means a lot to me coming from you. You hear so many songs. She is a very real songwriter. I mean, that was the first day we met. And I feel like she's my little sister or something. I think we're a similar person in relationships. And she had that idea. And I remember being just like, damn, even. And as the day went on, you know, it was just, I just am so proud of her. And like you said, she does take writing very seriously and loves country music. And that song, I think we both kind of bled into it a little bit.
You can see the blood. You can feel the blood. Yeah. And in the best, most vulnerable way where you're like, I'm going to say everything and it's going to be uncomfortable. But then everybody goes, oh, you're so uncomfortable. It makes me comfortable type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think songs can do that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
With her, too, I think she gets and I mean this in the best way, I think she gets a raw deal because she is pretty.
Yes.
And she has blonde hair.
Yes.
And people are just like, well, she must be just a polished product.
Totally.
But that's why I was just so set on emphasizing to my audience that she is such a songwriter.
Oh, she is the real deal. And always comes in. We've written since then. always has ideas and is very aware of her perspective and her fans.
That's what I told her too. Like she knows who she's talking to and why she's talking to them and what she wants to say to them.
Yes. And a girlfriend of mine was just at one of her shows last weekend, and she sent me a video, and it's pretty nuts. I mean, I know Tennessee Orange and some songs have been Girl in the Mirror, and then I'm Not Pretty, which also I'm a fan of all her songs I'm not on. Like I've listened to I'm Not Pretty probably 100 times.
Right.
But she had the whole audience was singing every word, and Shayna, my friend, was like, man, I haven't seen this with a new female in a long time. It was pretty crazy. I'm just so happy for her because she is such the real deal. You always want to see that win, and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm happy that it's winning, and I feel like it will continue to, I hope.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And not to stay on Megan, but I feel like you've been such an instrumental part of her being a credible songwriter, because you can't get in with you unless you, who is so established, like you're not just going to hop in a room with anybody, right? And I think that's a big deal for Megan to be like, for you to write with her. But something about her, and I have another Old Dominion question, but
Yeah.
she came in and she was sick and she was going to perform. I was like, man, you don't have to perform.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, don't perform. If you're not feeling good, do not perform. She's like, no. She's like, I have to perform. I came to perform. And she freaking ripped out 2 songs. She
Dang, go Meg.
Yeah, went to a different key.
Let's go.
And sang it, and it was great. But so, like, almost a professional, and has been a professional for a while.
Yes.
Like, older than she is.
She is very much. And what was she, a marketing major? Is that what it is? When she was at UGA?
She was, she was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you can really see that in her, too. It's very, very professional, very, okay, I see where I'm going with this, whether you guys want to believe in me or not. Like, this is where, this is the direction I see it going. And I love that she did it when she was sick. I can see her doing that.
Yeah, she's fought through it. Earlier, you were talking about, you wrote 2 songs that day with Old Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
So, and did you write them both quick, or did you stay late?
We actually wrote them both pretty quickly, which all days are not like that. I as you know, too, having so many writers in here, but it was, and both are obviously ones on the radio, but the other song I love a lot too. It was just quick. Everybody was in the zone that day, and I never know what to attribute that to, but they were quick.
I think some of it would probably, looking at your data, be attributed to you.
Oh, I
mean, just by all the. You ever go in and you're just not clicking? Because I have those days, and I rely on people to help me click.
This makes me feel better to say that. I've had a lot recently, actually.
And then, we'll kill. That'll be a great show, and man, what a funny. And I'm like, like I was there, but I really didn't. It wasn't me.
Yeah, that's what. Yes.
And so I get the credit. Just because it's, but in reality, I wasn't clicking that much, and everybody else kind of carried the thing.
That's so true, because you do, then for me, I'll lean heavily on co-writers, and they would say same thing, like, oh, you weren't bad. It's like, don't lie to me.
Then I feel guilty that I'm getting the credit, and I'm like, well, you don't understand. It was mostly
bothers you for days.
Do you ever have you ever competed against yourself on the chart?
I don't. Well, I feel like Break Up at the End, maybe, and Rich were out at the same time, but I don't think they were near each other, if I remember.
So they weren't battling.
I was not Morgan Wallen right now.
No. 2 songs of yours that I thought should have been number ones were Rich by Maren. I had in my second book I wrote, I had a playlist that I do before I'd go out and I do stand-up. So before I'd go out on the stage and I'd go in theater and be Mr. Hello, I'm very introverted until it's time to be extroverted.
Yes.
And very one, very the other.
Yeah,
but
I really do.
Always quiet. Flower, fly on the whatever they say.
Yeah. I noticed when I came in, you were quiet.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. I say stuff all the time, so when I got nothing to say, I don't say anything.
Yeah.
And so, but Rich, and there was a Snoop song, but Rich was on my playlist of songs I would listen to because it really pumped me up. Like, I loved it. And then I played it a bunch on the air.
Yes.
But I was so surprised that that song was not and Brett's Songs About You.
Oh,
that song.
That hurt.
That song, that was like an A+ song.
I love him so much.
Brett's one of my best friends.
Yes, he's told me that. He loves you so much. I mean, obviously, but.
That one, thank you. I just find out now. Brett loves me too?
He loves me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, last time I saw him, he was talking about you. You guys had just done something, or dinner or something, I don't remember.
Wait, he's kind of the only person I hang out with, Like Brett and I hang out twice a week at least.
I love that.
Right? Because he's very introverted.
He's very introverted, very particular. One of my favorite things about him, particular.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But,
I know.
But very particular.
Brett, what time are you going to bed tonight?
Yeah.
If you're listening. Right?
Well, he will be. When you have these songs come out, and I mentioned some of them, and I'm going to get to a bunch more, do you ever feel like you want to release your own version of it? Like Lori McKenna will do occasionally?
No, I don't think. I've had a lot of people ask me, weirdly, this is also a weird question that keeps happening, if I would want to make a record ever. And I've never really wanted to until the past year. I went out when Brandy Clark was cutting her latest record that's coming out with Brandy Carlo to Shangri-La in Malibu. And I was so inspired by that place. And I thought, I wonder if someday I'd want to make just a project, even if it's just for me. But I think I would want to hunker down and write for it instead of cutting.
So instead of taking songs that you've written.
Yeah, that either were released or even ones I love that weren't. I don't know, but probably won't ever happen. But
I was talking to Brandy. I don't know where it was.
She loves you too.
She's awesome. I mean,
yeah, she loves
when
you.
it comes to like folks, like I love Brandy.
She feels
She's
that way
awesome.
about you too.
So I saw her. She was like, you just mentioned Brandy's producing the record, and so is it really good?
Yes, it's crazy.
Because I said, I don't want to hear anything until it's all there.
Okay. Have you not listened to the two songs that are out?
No, I won't listen because I usually don't listen to music early anyway unless I'm close to the person.
Right.
However, I told her I want to hear it, but I want to hear it all because Brandy also is someone who will go A to Z and it's all in the package.
Yes.
And so I want to hear the whole package from her because I like her.
Yes.
Is she, and maybe I should frame the question like this, who are your close confidants in the industry that you can lean on when you're sad or happy or suck or killing it?
Brandy, for sure. She's like my sister, is my very, very best friend ever. I actually just told her, I was like, I'm going to do this. She's like, what? Tell mommy I said hi. But who else? My publisher, for sure, Alex Heddle.
Were you guys close before you started working?
Yeah,
together?
we were friends, and then the two deals that I had before this, were kind of like not the best deals, but I'm thankful for them because I met Brandy, Shane, Matt, Old Dominion guys for sure. And then when it was time for my deal to come up, he had gone to Big Machine, and him and Mike were like, please come here. Laura Veltz, who I write a lot with, Chase McGill, my dude, he's like my brother.
What about Chase to you so cool?
We met a long time ago, and we both love country music, traditional music, but then we also bonded over we love like olds, like Connor Oberst, who was in Bright Eyes, brand new, this like punk kind of singer-songwriter band. We just really bonded over music, and he's such a good writer, such a cool dude. I don't know. We kind of have like just always had a connection, like work, like writing songs wise and friendship wise. When
you mentioned Alex, your publisher,
mm-hmm.
and I asked about that dynamic, like I am really close now to, I have 2 dual managers.
Okay.
And I don't think I would have, but we're together or talking about something or creating something, or we're all the time.
Yeah.
And it has made us very close.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if the publisher relationship with the writer is like that. If 1, you're doing awesome, and 2, if they believe in you so much, and I mean, it's just an organic. If you're doing well, he's doing well,
mm-hmm.
and you also like each other. Does that just make you closer?
I think so. It sounds like yours, and I think you talk to them so much. Like I talk to him every day, without multiple times usually, and although I don't know if you were friends with your managers outside of that ever.
I was not before. I knew them.
Okay.
But I wasn't friends with them.
Does it ever, because sometimes when I'm pissed off about something, or he's pissed off at me about something,
for sure
it's tough.
It's like the people that work on my show. I brought them onto my radio show because I was great friends with them.
Right.
But beforehand, I also have to be the boss.
Yes.
And there's that professional relationship / dynamic that at time, and it's great now. We've been doing it like 16, 17 years. Like I took people that are awesome that I met at a restaurant, and so we've been doing it for so long. But yeah, it gets difficult because most other times it's so easy.
Yeah, exactly. And when it really, we've had moments before I've thought, I should not have just said that, or I wish maybe should have addressed this in a different way, like, because it's your friend. And I mean, I feel like me and my whole family, everybody's pretty hot-headed. So sometimes I have to check myself, but I'm trying to get better at that. Therapy, I guess. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, but I really don't know what I'd do without him. I have to credit him for things even going so well because, I mean, ever since I've come over there, he just was like, I believe in you so much and I'm going to make this happen and we can do it together. And yeah.
How much of a factor is he with you professionally? Like, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it really in an uneducated way. Does it matter who your publisher is? I
definitely think so. I think more even than just the company, it matters if you have a person. I would tell any new writer or writer that's like, my shit's not popping, what's going on? If you have a person that really believes in you, I feel like everyone says 10-year town, and I do think that's true. But eventually, if there's someone as your partner, it's going to work. If you are talented, which anyone I feel like that has a publishing deal is probably talented. So I feel like, yeah, there's so many people I wouldn't know if it weren't for him who are good friends now, but like Dan and Shay. I sort of knew Shay, but I didn't know Dan. And Brett, like getting me with Brett. Alex, who is now such a dear friend. There's so many artists. He's very good at that. He's a Wheelin' and Dillon kind of guy, but he's sweet, so it never comes across as like the business. Always trying to make some like business move.
I like how you shoot guns though when you say Wheelin' and Dillon.
Well, you know
like,
what I mean.
Finger guns, Wheelin' and Dillon. Yosemite Sam, show full Yosemite right there.
I know, right?
So it does matter.
Yes, I think so. That I was like, how did we? Yeah, it does matter. I think having a person that really, whether it's a writer manager, whether it's your publisher or whatever, I think it's so important. And I see that with artists too, where they'll get starry-eyed about a big manager has big clients, and sometimes they are great for an artist, but other times I'll think, gosh, I hope they have someone over there in like a day-to-day that...
And they don't get lost.
Right.
It's easy to get lost.
Yes. Especially if they have someone so big that it's a 24-hour a day, that's who they're going to focus on.
Because the benefit is, let's just say I'm a new artist and I get on with Luke Bryan. Like Carrie's managing Luke, and I go and I'm like, I'm a new artist, and Carrie's like, I'd like to manage you. Well, the benefit is you get a lot of leverage with Luke.
Heck yeah.
Luke's going to do tours. You're going to be on the tour. But what's tough is Luke's 24 hours, and you're probably not going to get that attention unless Carrie goes, I've got this other day-to-day that's going to manage you, and hopefully that relationship is great, and hopefully the other day-to-day, well they got to make money. They ain't making a lot off you right away.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of a sensitive situation.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, it's find your champion. It's like a relationship or something. I find your person or whatever. I think that's one of the biggest things for artists and songwriters alike, because it's so symbiotic when it feels right. Because I spent years having it not be. And so when I found Alex and Mike Molinar, it definitely, I feel like, has changed my life.
Have you heard any of the AI songs?
Yeah. A few of them. You know what? And writers I know right now, and if any of you end up listening to this, no, I'm talking to you. Why are you even messing with that as a joke? I'm like, y'all, please stop using that. It's going to take our job. I hope not. But
like the Drake and the Weeknd song.
Okay, I haven't heard that, but I've heard it talked about.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it hits pretty hard.
I wish you guys could play it.
I'm sure you can find it on the computer to give her some.
They pulled it down from everywhere.
They did?
Yeah.
The Luke Bryan one was pretty bad, and even Luke admitted
it was like bad.
It was good. Yeah, it was goofy.
Yeah, I was thinking of that Chat GPT thing that people have been like, "Oh, I typed this thing in to see if it could write a song."
Oh, have you done it yet?
No.
Watch this.
I don't like it.
me either, but I mess with it all the time.
You too.
But you can say to anything, for example, I'm going to say, but yeah, you're right. This is like super slippery. And also, who owns it? If you use it, who owns it? Okay, I'm going to go, write me a rap about Bobby Bones. Watch this. So let's see. Here we go. It's thinking. It is thinking.
Yo, listen up, y'all. I got a story to tell about a radio host that's known quite well. He's the king of country. The man with the mic, you know who I'm talking about. It's Bobby Bones, right? He started out in Arkansas.
Bobby.
It'll just do the whole thing.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
King of country, though. I mean, that's a pretty good line.
Hey, I didn't say it. AI did. That's
I
what
know,
said.
right?
We start
Right?
quoting it in press release.
I was like, dang, that's good.
He's the king of country. The 10,000 hours, which
10,000 hours.
You know, I know Dan and Shay rather well. We moved to town about the same time.
Oh, yeah.
We've been friends a long time.
I love those guys.
And, you know, that song by itself was going to be amazing anyway.
Yes.
When you heard that Bieber was going to get on it?
I mean, sometimes I still can't believe it. And the way that it happened is a memory I just never will forget. I was in New York with Alex, my publisher, doing some kind of panel. Grammy panel maybe. And Dan, I like posted something on my story, and he responded to it and was like, "Yo, are you in New York? I really want to see you today." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm with Alex. Let's all meet up." So we ended up going to this like sports bar. Some guys were watching games or something, and then he was like, "Hey, we got to go back to my hotel. I want to play you something." I had no idea they'd even
He didn't tell you yet.
Cut the song.
Right.
I'm assuming at this point, though, I'm like, oh, maybe they cut 10,000 hours. Oh, my gosh.
Just Dan and Shay.
Yes.
Got it.
So we get to the hotel. We're standing in his room, me, Shay, Alex, Mike, and Dan. And he's like, guess who's on 10,000 hours with us? And I was like, who? And he said, Justin Bieber. And I was like, shut up. That is ridiculous. I was like, for real, though, I want to hear it. And he was like, no. He's really on the song. And I was like, stop. I was, dude, no, blah, blah, blah. I did not believe him. And finally, he just put headphones on my head. And it already sounded so great from the top. I was like tearing up. And then when he started singing, I mean, I just cried. I mean, there's like video of it where we're all freaking out. But it is like one of my favorite memories. I still can't believe it, really, I don't think. Sometimes.
Is that like a different ballpark financially when it goes pop?
Yes, for sure. And that song, like, Hardy even texted me when they were just in Australia, and he was like, bro, I'm in this coffee shop, and they're playing 10,000 hours. It's crazy. Just because, like, actually, I think it's New Zealand. It wasn't even Australia. Because it's been out a while now, but that's a difference, I think, too, that having someone like Justin on a song, it becomes so international where country, I mean, maybe some country stuff does that. I had never had country stuff that did that, but it definitely is different money-wise if you get on a pop chart.
Is there a song that obviously another artist is known for, they may have written with you or you may have written it and then it got to them, but it's very personal to you, but it's just somebody else singing it?
Oh, yeah.
Meaning it's about your thoughts, not just because you're so close to it because you wrote it how you're feeling, but I mean, it's like if you were singing a song, that'd be the song you would sing because it really represents who you are.
I think actually a Brandy, you haven't heard it yet, but we wrote a song, just the two of us, that's she put out a month ago, maybe. It's called Buried. We wrote it last year, I think in the spring, just at her. That is a song it's hard for me to listen to that song because I had gone through a really brutal breakup. It was completely gutting to me. And it's still hard for me to. She sounds amazing. Yeah. I mean, the way they recorded her vocals even was a really cool thing that Brandi Carlile did, but that one's really hard because it feels so personal. That I don't know. That one's hard.
What do you do the songwriter rounds?
I don't. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of shy, and even coming in here today, I was nervous, to be honest.
You feel okay now, though?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm super warm, right? I mean,
Yeah, you
are.
are.
Yeah, just like a big old hug. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
you are. But I get a rash. I might even have it right now. When I get hot or nervous, I remember when I was trying to get a publishing deal back when I was like 21. I was sitting across from Frank Liddell playing songs on my guitar, and I went into the bathroom, and it was so bad. I was like, he probably didn't hear anything I just did. He watched this rash crawl up me like I'm the fucking Walking Dead or something. So I hate, long story short, rounds kind of scare me, but I don't.
Because I've never seen you play around.
No.
And not that I go to many of them now, but I've been to a few and I've played in a few. I do some of my comedy stuff.
Yes.
But I never played with you or seen you play one.
I know. Maybe I need to make myself do. Chase actually texted me the other day about doing private stuff. And he was like, dude, come on, let's just go do it together, like Jessie and JR, and we can make money, whatever. And
it's really good
I need
money
to get over
too.
it. I know, that's what he said.
You have big songs. You have really big songs, and a lot of them, it's really good, easy money. Hard to get those offers,
right?
But it's really
that's what I know. And have you ever taken beta blockers?
No,
you probably don't
thought
have to.
about it.
Okay, me too.
For golf though, because I get all
You get to
yeah. I don't.
Really, that's your nerve wracking. Okay,
I can walk out on stage, do a bunch of new comedy for 2,000 people. I know some of it's gonna bomb. That's okay. I'm not nervous. I can do radio. I can be on live TV. Whatever.
Yeah.
All good because I've done it and I've failed so many times. I know the worst case is gonna happen. I can get through it. No big deal.
I like that theory.
If I'm playing golf,
yeah,
it sucks because I'm like I'm shaky as crap.
Yes, I get that.
So I've thought about that. Are you thinking about taking one for?
Oh, for that, I've thought about it because it's not like Xanax, right?
No.
Where it messes you up. Okay, because I saw it literally on like Kardashians or something, I think, where they were like, just take a beta blocker. And I was like, what is that? And then I looked into it, and now I'm like, maybe I can do that to play more so I don't get a rash.
Or just go Xanax. Go full Xanax.
Go full Xanax. Drink some whiskey.
This is 10,000
That'll be a good scene.
Yeah.
I'll be like my dad in the 80s.
I saw a TikTok of your dad that was so funny, by the way. I was talking about it on the show like 2 weeks ago where he was talking about, he does a whole lead in about how he hates funny songs. And then he goes, I know oceanfront property.
Yeah.
So funny. Such a funny, he's up there just, singing, playing. And then he's like, I hate funny songs. And George Strait called. And then here, this song paid me a lot of money. So I'm doing, and so I just thought it was so fun. Growing up in a house where your dad, he celebrated for it. Not only does he do it, but he celebrated for it. Did you always know that's what you wanted to do?
I think, yes, but I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Derek Wells, I don't know, you probably know Derek, guitar player. Amazing guitar player. He and I talk about it a lot because we had a similar upbringing in that way with his mom being a great singer and his dad and stepdad being great guitar players. But I tried so hard to not want to write, and eventually I just I actually moved to California for a year after high school just to get away from where I was from, really, and like
tried to run from it a little bit.
Yes, and I was working, and I met this lady that Kathleen Carey. She was at Sony TV at the time, and I would go play her songs, and finally one day and I had not talked to my dad about it at all. Like, I don't think I'd played him anything I'd done at all at that point. And one day I was in there meeting with her, and she looked at me and was like, go home. I was like, dang, Kathleen, that's mean. Like, I was thinking like she didn't like a song or something. And she's like, no, you write country songs and you're good at it. I don't care who your dad is. I don't care what your complex is. Go try and figure it out. And so then I tried to do that.
I guess I didn't think about the complex part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's heavy.
No, yeah. It's still, there's still sometimes that, I don't know, it's weird. I think I'll think about being like Sean Lennon or someone like that.
Jacob Dylan.
I don't even know what you do with that. I really don't,
mm-hmm.
Because I'm old enough now where it's not really, I'm so proud of my dad. And
what's funny is I don't even think about your dad when I think about you.
That's so nice.
And I don't know that I would have gotten over to him, but you mentioned your dad in the 80s. I was like, oh yeah, just watch a TikTok by him.
Yes.
So that put me there, but I don't think, I don't know that I would or wouldn't, but I don't think about you and that being your dad when I think about you.
Oh,
And I don't know
wow.
if that matters to you.
It matters a lot to me, especially coming from you. You know what I mean? It does matter a lot to me.
I know it, but I don't associate those two.
I think it would matter to him even too, because I know he always was like, "You've got to stop." When I was really young, because I had people be shitty to me.
For what reason?
For being like his kid, and I really went
For existing.
Well, just that it was either the attitude of, she's probably not going to be good. She's only doing this because and I went out of my way to not have my dad be affiliated with me trying to get a deal or I just kind of tried. I was so conscious of him and what other people would think so that was hurtful. And then I will never forget, I had a write with a guy I had idolized most of my life early on in getting a deal, and he was such a dick to me, and I couldn't figure out during the first part of the write what was going on. And then he started saying things about my dad, and I was thinking, he has weird beef with my dad, so I guess he's going to take it out on me now. And it was just such a bummer of like the don't meet your heroes kind of moment. I'll still have things certain times, not often, but I'll think with some of the older cats who are like a lot of the people I respect the most, that I'll think, I wonder if this has something to do with my dad versus me. I don't know. But
Well, it could be a different generational thing. I don't think about you and then think about your dad. And when the people bring you up, I don't think about your dad. I wouldn't have thought about your dad until you said my dad.
yeah.
But yeah, that's got to be.
I talked to him this morning, I think is why he's on my brain.
That's got to be tough, though. Again, I'm a therapy person.
Yes. Same.
And I have my traumas for sure.
Yes. You
Actually, the list is so long. It's like one of those Santa Claus lists, where it's the big on the spool and you pull it out.
I relate to you.
But I definitely
that.
would. Yeah, that would be a thing. When you say don't meet your heroes, who have you met though that was awesome? That was almost hero to you.
I don't want to get emotional. I actually first person I'm thinking of is Keith Gaddis, who he just passed away on Sunday, unexpectedly, and he was someone who I met him several years ago, and Keith was so cool. We just rated. Did you ever meet him?
Just met him and didn't know him.
Okay.
What was special about him?
He just was the coolest. He had. It sounds like woo-woo, but energetically. I mean, the way he walked, the way he talked. He was such a great songwriter and such a great player. And I was so intimidated when we first were meeting. I was like, oh, I want him to like me or whatever. And he was someone who was always so great to me and was a person who early on was like, hey, you're really good at this. Get over yourself.
He gave you confidence.
Yes, and I think he did that for a lot of people, and he is. I mean, El Cerrito Place is a song I think any songwriter in town probably is like. I would give my right arm to have written that song, and so many other songs of his. But he was someone for me definitely that was a good meet your hero and became a friend and another friend's husband and.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I know that's a very sensitive thing because he just passed away.
Yeah. But
what about artist-wise?
You
ever get in a room with somebody you're like, this is awesome, and then it was awesome?
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think who.
As you think, I'll vamp and give you a couple of mine.
Okay,
which also
yes,
gives you
please
some
do.
space. For me meeting Dolly, and there's no way Dolly can live up to what Dolly always has been. But she does. Somehow she does.
I can't imagine being around her.
And I've been able to do 5, 6, 7 things with her to the point where
That's
I
so
can just
cool.
see her and she's like, Bobby, it's just like, there's no way she can live up to what I think Dolly is supposed to be by all the interviews, TV shows, movies. You go down. But somehow
Right.
she does it. It's like when there's no way
the
LeBron
queen.
was supposed to, he couldn't have lived up to the hype. LeBron could never live up to the hype when he was in high school, but he did.
Yeah.
Dolly's that. It's unbelievable. Reba. You meet Reba. You hang out with Reba. I've been lucky enough to do some stuff with Reba. And you go, oh, I get it.
Yes.
That's the thing that people want. And you can't build it. You
Yeah.
can't create. But she has it. She also works hard and is super talented. But the it
Yes.
Reba is
it.
amazing.
That
She's
is awesome.
amazing. So I'll ask you again, who have you got like to write with or put in a room with, and you're like, this is super cool, and then they ended up being super cool?
Gosh, I'm like thinking, my brain is thinking. There's so many cool artists. I'll tell you someone who, I mean, we're peers and now like friends, but I will say, it was a trip to me to get to know. And she's exactly what like I would have is Miranda. I mean, she's such a G. She's such a great songwriter. She's so herself. I love her a lot. I think
that's a good one too, because Miranda, and I've been able to not get to know Miranda like I have Reba or Dolly, but I've spent some time with Miranda, especially with animals, right?
Yes.
Like that's something we have in common. So that's something that we have done things together with and about. And Miranda, you have this image of Miranda being like for real. She's being like a for real person.
Yes.
But sometimes, as you know, that ain't the reality here.
Yes.
But it's super cool to know that that's how she exists.
Yeah. I think she's just unabashedly herself, which I always had loved her music so much. And so that was really cool to, like you're saying, to know that. Is there anyone you haven't met that you would want to meet?
That's a good question.
Artist-wise.
In this world, no.
Okay.
But there are, like, my hero is David Letterman.
Heck
Never
yeah.
got to meet him. I haven't got. I mean, he's not dead.
No,
I've never got to meet him. So that one's.
We got to make that happen. How can we make that happen?
But here's the thing. He was the first person that I ever saw on television that was goofy, a bit irreverent, odd, didn't look like everybody else. And I was like, oh, then that means I can do it.
Yes.
I mean, literally watching this goofy, tall, white
But
dude.
he's so cool.
Right. And I'm not cool. But if you,
I feel like you are.
asked him,
because you're yourself.
Well,
which is cool.
If that's cool, then okay, I'm the coolest there is. But
I
don't
think
feel like
so.
I'm cool at all.
That's to me what cool is.
But he gave me the confidence to go, okay, I can do it. I don't got to look like everybody else that does. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to meet him because I don't want to be let down because he was such a big part of all that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So Letterman, I haven't met. I've only met Adam Sandler on Zoom. And
that's amazing.
Even that was really cool, right, Mike?
It was cool.
I would. That's amazing.
He's like, hey, Bobby.
No way.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. So
Guys,
Adam Sandler to me was the comedy music, and I tour playing comedy music, and I was just like, this is so funny. You can do stupid stuff.
Yes.
And so I haven't met Sandler. Those are probably the two big ones that I haven't met. Who have you not met that you'd like to meet, even here?
I can think of my number. Don Henley would be my number. Which
you're a big Eagles fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
His writing too. Boys of Summer is one of my favorite songs of all time, and now I'm scared to meet him. I'd be scared to meet. He was really nice to Brandy, but I hear mixed reviews there about Don.
I think I've heard mixed reviews of all the Eagles though, but I think because they've just had their seasons.
Yes. I met Joe Walsh in the Tootsie's
Was he
alley.
awesome?
Yes. He kissed me on the cheek and said, thanks, baby. Because I was like, Joe, I'm such a big fan.
Couldn't
help it.
I read his book and I was like, this dude's got to be cool.
Yeah, he was cool. It's exactly what I expected. It was brief, but it was really cool. I didn't wash my face for a week.
Yeah, the Eagles, were you a fan? Like listening, like all of it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, and their solo stuff, and I love them and his writing.
Do you know Vince at all?
I've met Vince a few times. I
asked because he's been playing with
Goat.
He plays with the Eagles.
I went to that show here. Did you go?
So did I.
It was pretty sick.
It was awesome, and what I liked about it was old, so they didn't scream the whole time. We just got to enjoy the show.
Yes, and I loved watching all of the older people.
Mm-hmm. Like feel like they did then. That was the best part.
I saw like people like making out, all this wild stuff. I was like, it's from the 70s, man. But it made me have so much joy.
That's what I want to do in 20 years when Creed's playing. Yes. Just want to get up and dry hump my wife and be like, remember this? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Vince. And also the kids. The son of... Which one that died? One of the Eagles was playing too.
Oh, Glenn.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was such an excellent show.
So sick.
And so different than because I went to watch Morgan Wallen here and everybody screamed the whole time. You couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I know.
They recorded the whole thing on their phone and they screamed the whole time. And And it was like, yeah, I'm good.
It's so crazy.
It's so hard for me to enjoy the show because now that I'm not 22.
I know.
It's
I
just
know.
like, I just want to sit.
I know.
It's like ball games too, though. So I'm like, I like going. I like watching them on TV now too because I can get all the angles.
I'm completely with you about games.
And I feel like a wimp because of that because I've always been like, so I just want to be there.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I don't think we're wimps. But you know what? I'm gonna die on the hill. It's better. Sorry, it just is.
Now I'm not gonna commit to better because I just don't want to get killed on that hill.
Yeah, you're like, keep me out of this.
Yeah, that can be a hill I'll put a disguise on and go up there with you.
Hang out. Yeah.
What is your process? As in, I'm always thinking of either show ideas or jokes or funny song ideas all the time. And
Same as you.
In my phone.
Yes. Doesn't ever shut off. Sometimes when you want it to.
Yes. Even when I'm almost asleep.
Yes. And then
I have to get up and write it in because if I do the stupid thing where I go to sleep, I'm like, I know I had an idea last night.
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
Yes. The worst feeling. And because you'll swear this was the most
It was
genius.
the one. Oh, yeah.
This was the one.
It was the one.
Yeah. And then, or the ones you do write down, think it's the one, you wake up, you open your phone like, get to it. This is trash. You know what I mean?
I've done too where I've woken up. I guess I was kind of dreaming about it. And I was like, this would be so funny to tell a joke. And I'll record a voice memo. And so I listen back to it. And I'm like, this is never funny.
Exactly.
What was I thinking to think that was ever funny?
Yes. I love in writes when any of us will turn it down, hold it up to their own ear, and it's like, play it for the class. Let's hear how bad the melody is.
So only they can hear it?
Yes.
Just so they can know if they want to actually share it outwardly?
Even with like your utmost homies, I feel like everyone's still like, ugh. Like, I don't know,
You have the notes. What do you put it in? Do you put it in a notes app? Do you put it in?
Notes app.
Yeah, me too.
I know. I'm like, what's in here?
And so, and mine's also, you may be way more organized than I am.
Probably
But
not.
I've got for TikToks I want to do.
Oh, you're more organized than me.
Yo, I'm pretty organized. I have to be.
Yeah.
I've got song ideas.
Let's go.
I've got, no, not for you. These are stupid songs. You can't have them. And if you saw it and you still won, I will sue you. I have songs that I've written just so I can be sure to play them. So I've got them all.
Wow, you are really organized. Mine is in the middle of like stuff, a grocery list, and then it's like
just all one.
Or it's stuff that's done. I haven't put in the other. Oh, I see those people and they freak me out the most. Like
just
Hunter Phelps the other day. I think it was Hunter. Sorry, Hunter.
Just graffiti. Of all
oh
of
no,
it?
it'll be like this is a song that's done.
Yeah.
But like his was an idea list where it was all in the same document. Like all these song titles all just down the page, and I was like, bro, you aren't even doing them like separate.
Oh, you mean it's in one? He's got to scroll to find it. He's
yes.
got to search for it on one page.
Yeah, but then I kind of wanted to take it from him and just scroll through it and be like, "What should we do today?"
And what has he forgotten that he wrote that was so good because it's lost in
there?
And new eyes could probably go,
yeah.
This is great.
Yes.
Are you a red dot person on your phone? Do you keep text and emails, or do you wipe them off immediately?
What is red? I don't even know what that is.
So your emails see like right here.
Yes.
Since we've been talking, I've got 3 emails.
Oh yeah. I can't keep that.
I have one. I wipe them off.
Me too.
As soon as we're done here, I will go through every text.
Yes.
Every email.
Same here.
Reply, and if I can't reply and I know it's important, I'll save it as unread.
Okay, you can do that now, which it would be helpful for me, and I need to start doing.
But then it drives me crazy until I get back to it.
Yes.
And it's like
okay, I'm similar to you.
I'm going through withdrawal. I'm like, I gotta get to the unread message.
The red dot people. That when it's like 1,000, that freaks me out. I don't like, and then I feel like texting sometimes. If like somebody posts a screenshot or something, I'm like, is this a flex that you're like, I have 300 unread messages? You know what I mean? I feel like maybe it is.
Cool.
Yeah,
what sucks
I
for
definitely
me
kind of do.
I rarely put my phone away, but when I do for extended amount of time, I'll be like, I can't wait to get back to my phone because I got so many text messages. I'm so cool, and then it's like none.
The worst feeling.
Nobody has texted me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be reminded, so that's why I keep my phone on mostly.
Yes.
People think I'm addicted to my phone. No, I just don't like when I put my phone away that I'm reminded of how big of a loser I am. Because nobody texts me pretty much.
It's the worst feeling.
Do you think you could write a song? Let's say my life depended on it.
Okay.
And I called you and I said, hey, look.
I'm already stressed.
This guy's got a gun to my head. And I need you right now. I need you to write a hit song for me in an hour. You have 1 hour to do it. Can you write a song? And it's got to go, it's got to be at least a top 10 song on the country chart. And if you don't, I'm going to get shot in the head. Do you think you could do it in an hour?
Yeah, I would FaceTime Chase and be like, Bobby's going to get shot. We have to do this.
And what are the elements that you would put in a song that are so
that's hard.
In line? Like, is it claps, whistles? Is it whiskey? Like, what are the things that's like, easily, I don't want to use the word generic, but I'm universal,
Yes.
but with melody, lyrics, you could make a hit. What are those keys?
Well, I definitely think it would be tempo if I was trying to get more guaranteed.
Yeah.
Thematically, I feel like we've gotten out of bro country and have moved into like redneck country, so I would definitely like go into that. If it had to be a hit
you have 1
today.
hour. Or if you're not done, I get shot too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? I say all that, and I would look through my phone, and hopefully I would have a great idea that had heart. I still feel like songs with
Oh,
heart
don't go with the
always
ballad.
win.
I'm gonna get shot in the head.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
even
too
if
risky.
it was tempo,
Too risky.
too risky.
Too risky.
Maybe a Till You Can't vibe or something though. Yeah, I think I could do it.
Did you write today?
I did not. I just got back from that writing camp, and I feel like there was one day we wrote, I think, 5 or 6 songs.
In a day?
Yeah, I blame Ashley. Machine.
In a day.
Yes. And I had told Alex, I was like, dude, I need a couple days. Because I had done a camp, another retreat right before the one I just did. And it was like, we stayed up really late and got a lot of songs too. So I've felt a little fried. I'm still trying to figure out, that's my biggest mountain, I think, is, I would be curious to ask you this actually. Figuring out how, because I kind of feel like I'm in a workaholic season, but I feel myself starting to need to take some time off. I haven't ever been able to figure out yet what's my perfect, equation for how many days a week I need to write.
Yeah,
or
there's no such thing.
You think?
There's
okay.
no such thing. There's
good to know.
chasing it.
Yeah.
And I say this as someone who's not good at it, but there's no such thing as that.
Okay.
Not for you.
No. Yeah.
Not for me.
No.
But why do you think you want more balance? Or do you just want more balance?
I think I want more balance. Yeah. Because I definitely am the person, I have other friends that are really good about it. If they get a call at the 11th hour, like, hey, do you want to come do this? They'll be like, no, I have to do X, Y, Z. And I'm always the person that's like, yes, I will, at least in the season I've been in lately, for sure, that it wants to go right.
Why do you think you want balance?
I don't know. I mean, but then maybe I don't. I think I'm curious at the whole concept, because I do feel like songs are kind of just my life. I don't know. I never get really sick of working on songs.
I feel the same way about work, but I also think I used work as a way to get away from a traumatic past, and it gave me a bridge.
I think I do that
to a more positive life.
Yes.
Not in the same place. So, I understand my relationship with work and why it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I met my wife, and to her, and she's got a master's degree, and she's got, she is so smart and killed. But balance is so important to her because she has a very healthy family life. Like with her family, she had it growing up. It was instilled, and I did not. I didn't even have a family. And so it's like two fists that punch each other, not literally, but me trying to figure out what the heck is this balance, and her going, how do you not want to have some sort of balance? So it's been very hard for me.
I know. I listening to you, I'm like, okay, this makes a lot of sense to me now.
It's been very hard. But I could wake up at 4, open the computer, and then not go to bed until 1 a.m. and then fold down the computer. But I also love what I do.
Right. What time do you wake up every day?
This morning, probably 3:15. Wow. It varies a little bit depending on, but what's hardest is when I'm doing shows on weekends and I go back.
I don't know
I go to sleep at midnight or 1, and then I got to flip back.
Yeah. When you're having a normal day, what time do you go to sleep?
Do you have normal days?
No.
Okay. That's a hard question for me to answer because there's no normal.
No.
But I would say if I can get to bed by
Which is the beauty of it, I guess.
Absolutely. Not complaining.
Yeah.
If I get to bed by 10, wake up about 3 or so, that's not healthy. I have this Aura ring.
That's what Brett has.
Well, that's why I know about it.
Okay, yeah. He told me about that. I was like, I'm not getting that. I'll get anxiety from the ring, like from that ring, I think.
Just watch it for sleep. It is a great indicator of sleep.
Okay.
And I don't like jewelry, but Brett had it forever. And I was like, fine.
Cool.
He's like, I will cave. And it's awesome.
So you only look at the sleep?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay, that makes me. I would be curious how I'm sleeping because I don't think I sleep well.
You don't?
No.
Why don't you?
I think I don't know. Mine's always running.
Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't have my phone, and I will like messing with ideas or whatever. I think. Yeah, I feel like no one in my family sleeps either. So I've started wondering if it's genetic. My brother's reading some book about sleep. I think Brett has read it too, actually. And he was telling me the other day, well, this guy's in here talking about if you're a night owl, that's just who you are. Like, you can't, it's really difficult to change. I thought it was kind of fascinating. I should probably read
My
it.
body clock, if I didn't have this morning show, I would go to sleep about 4:30 a.m. normally, and I would wake up about 12:30 or 1 p.m.
That would be me.
That's me. Yeah.
In my perfect world.
It's just a lot of stuff gets done before 1 p.m. that I got to be a part of. Same
yes,
with you.
especially you. Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're successful now, or do you feel like you're on your way to being successful, or do you think you'll ever feel successful?
Knowing me, I don't know if I ever will. I would like to. I feel like I feel proud, I guess,
Good for you.
of certain songs.
What song are you proud of? What comes to mind first? First song.
Break Up in the End.
Good.
I
was going to
think.
ask you about that.
Yes. I'm very proud of that song, and I love having it. Everything about. I love that it's with Cole, who's an old friend, and Chase and John. It's like kind of one of those things. Everything. Dan Shay actually wanted that song, which is funny because Dan, when we first became friends, we're talking about that. But it's definitely that song.
Nominated for a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you go?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
It was. Yes. That is. Yeah. That never. I mean, I would like to win sometime, but we'll see.
When you're there at a place like that, do you have imposter syndrome, or do you feel like you
Yes.
belong?
Yes.
You do.
I feel like I lately have have it really bad.
But is it? But what's crazy? And I'll end with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you. That's the thing. I believe you
Yeah.
because I see a lot of parallels in just how
I
we just consume outward in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say that, and I read when we started this, 21 cuts since January 1st and 32 in the last 12 months. That's just data you can't argue with.
All right.
That's
How can I still argue with it in my head? I guess you do.
so you'll never be satisfied until you learn how to just live satisfied regardless. So my therapist tells me.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
How do you? I was going to ask
No, I'm
you.
not. I'm terrible.
I've listened to one of yours with Emily Wiseman.
Yeah.
I remember when you guys talked about imposter syndrome, and it was the first time I'd ever heard the term. And so it's kind of crazy you brought that up because I was thinking I need to ask him about that.
I
today.
live it.
How he's feeling. So still okay.
And so my therapist constantly tells me, until you don't feel imposter syndrome you could fail everything else and you still should not feel it. So you're always going to feel it until you don't feel it at all, ever.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, well, I'll just always feel it then.
I know.
That's it.
That's how I feel.
So I'm just committed.
There's certain people I wonder if they ever feel it. I would like to ask Ashley that. I should have asked him that this weekend because I asked him a lot of questions. But
I would think so. It's maybe not anymore. But again, I don't know. There's some of the most successful, confident people I've met that really, they question themselves constantly.
Wow.
And they question if they're worth it, and they question. But it makes me feel good when people admit to that because then I don't feel so alone.
Same.
Yeah.
Like to hear you say it makes me feel better.
Well, listen,
sure.
I'm really happy for you. I mean, you're
Thank
annihilating the place.
Oh.
Regardless of how you feel about it, it's just so cool to see. You've had massive success on different levels. You have success that's bubbling now with the OD stuff. The Brandy stuff, I'm sure, is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But even, the Megan Moroney and the Jelly Roll stuff, it's like you're still.
I'm excited about that. And Katie Offerman, who's new.
I love Katie.
Okay, so you have to play it. I think it's coming out in May. I Just Killed a Man, our song. I'm really proud of that song.
Is that a confession, a real life confession by you?
Who'd
you kill?
Who'd I kill, right? I think that there's a lot of people, guys I can think of, actually.
We'll move off that real quick before you
real quick
end. Yeah.
before I, out myself. Get arrested. But you got to play that song because she's the best.
Deal.
Yep.
We play a lot of Katie.
Yeah.
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 Okay, look. What do your friends call you, by the way?
Oh, gosh. Jessie, JJ, JJD, Jessie Jo, J Joe. I have a lot of nicknames. Too many.
Yeah, you gave me too many options there.
I know. What do you want to call me? JJ? JJD?
I probably would have thought your friends would call you JJ.
I get that.
What's
and JJD. I get a lot. I think I can't remember who really started that, but I do get called that one most probably.
Well, JJD. I feel like it's one too many syllables. I really enjoyed this hour.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, thanks. If you were nervous, you didn't act like it. You didn't come off as nervous.
No.
Thanks for your generosity and your stories and being vulnerable.
Thank you.
This was really cool.
I loved it.
So just keep killing it. There she is. You guys follow her, Jessie Jo Dillon, at Jessie Jo Dillon. Is that all you have your name universally?
Yes.
Good for you.
I know. I did it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. And
Thanks.
until in another 32 cuts, we'll do this again.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.